Good evening, viewers. The unprecedented moment is here. This is what everyone has been waiting for. This is the time, this is the moment, this is the day. My name is Bismarck Nabi and I'm your host tonight. I'm here with
Larbi for Richmond.
and
Gyampo Ebenezer Derek.
so we have the first set of UG SRC presidential aspirants tonight, and we are here to have a short discussion with them to see how their vetting went. Mr. President, aspirant, right?
Aspirant.
And you are the
Vice President.
Okay, right. I would want to ask, any can answer though. How what was your preparations towards the vetting, or what were your feelings before you went in there?
Honestly, our preparation towards the vetting was very excellent. I mean, you know that as individuals who have taken it upon ourselves to serve the student body, we must be able to account for whatever it is that we want to do, and must be able to give them reasons why they should believe in us and give us the nod to serve them. So it was a very excellent experience, and then our preparation was on point too.
That's a wonderful one. And now that you are back from there, or now that you are done with the vetting, how do you feel? Is it that you are tense still? No tension? How do you feel? That is it.
I feel very relaxed and happy about the fact that I've been able to get the opportunity to explain myself and then my good brother here to the good students of University of Ghana, and the reason why they should give us the mandate to lead the student front.
That's a wonderful one again. Mr. Vice President aspirant, right? Is there anything you would like to add to what Mr. President has said?
Okay, so I'd say, in preparation for our vetting, we took it very cool, looking at the fact that we have experienced managers and then it wasn't so much of a problem, and then we saw vetting as just having a conversation with the panel. So, and then I believe everyone around or anyone watching who observed the vetting proceedings could attest to the fact that it was just a conversation between Larbi Gyampo and then the panel. Yeah.
So the gentleman right by my side are saying it was just a conversation. That should tell you these men are really prepared for this. The confidence, the composure. Peter Drury will tell this or call this a special moment in history. Now let's come back to business. Since you were fully prepared for this, I would want to ask, even before we go deeper, what brought you together, or what was the reason behind you two pairing? Because you had a lot of options to choose from, but then you ended up pairing with each other. I don't know who paired with who, but today we have Mr. Larbi and Mr. Gyampo. So tell us the reason behind and the factors that led to this very pair.
So amongst all the aspirants running for SRC presidency this year, my good brother here, Gyampo, happens to be the one whom I've had a very close relationship with, in the sense that he served as my hall president when I was a resident at General Sinaka Hall. And through from my observation and then the few encounters I had with him, I realized he's an individual whose attributes actually complement mine. So we coming together to lead the student front is just the best pair.
This is a marvelous presentation from the aspirant. Let's continue, please. I would want to ask, now that you've paired together, you are, let's say, one team, right? So if you went together, let me ask, what would be your take on the side of the panelists as to how you two were vetted as a unit?
Well, I believe the vetting panel conducted their work in a decorous manner. They asked a number of questions, and then they were very professional, and then we did our utmost best to answer as many questions, if not all questions. Yeah.
So if you are giving the nod to at least rate them on a scale from maybe 1 to 10, what do you think you could give to them?
Well, I think an 8 is fine for the vetting panel.
Would you side with him?
I would actually side with Gyampo.
Then if 8, then indeed I think that's impressive. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Now we know you are claiming that the panelists were that impartial and how do we call it? Let me say they were just enough. They did the work professionally. Taking or moving forward, let me ask this. What at all inspired you to man up? Because the university is a very large community. Manning up to come forward to aspire for this position isn't something that can merely just be brought about. So what at all inspired you to this journey you are embarking on?
Okay, so personally, every community or dispensation that I find myself, I try to contribute my quota towards the development and betterment of that community. So finding myself in this institution, I just see this as an opportunity to contribute towards the development of this organization. So my desire to always see that the community I find myself develops is what has pushed me and motivated me to run for this position.
That's right. That's right. I've heard you right. Now back to the panelists. In your highlights, or let's say your videos, I was following live. I overheard the EC chairman himself tell you that if you fail to listen attentively once and for all, he is no more. He's not going to repeat that. Is that true?
That's right.
So to me, well, I may think twice or thrice about this very thing, but I'm putting it to you. Do you think that is right? Because even if a teacher is teaching and the students are not able to grab something right, they have the chance, the will, the freedom to ask again to get the clarity. So I don't know if that we should call that imposition fierce. I don't know how to put it. So I'm asking you, is that right to you? If it is right, tell us one or two things that you think makes it right. If it's wrong, you do justice to that as well.
Well, I believe to a very high extent he was right, but not entirely right, in the sense that he's running with time. The other aspirants that need to be vetted, and mind you, those that make up the panelists are students who might be having classes tomorrow. Okay, so I'm sure he said that taking into consideration the time factor, but what he also failed to recognize was the fact that there was names coming from the panelists, and as such that served as a barrier between we hearing clearly what they had to say. That's why I said to an extent he was right, but then he could have done better too.
Okay, so do you kindly side with him, please?
I actually do side with him. Yeah.
Do side with him.
Exactly.
So let me continue with this. Have you had any tough moments within your political journey so far? Though I don't know where you began from.
Well, I didn't say I've had a very tough journey so far. I mean, everything seems to be running smoothly. Looking at the fact that I take advice and then I make calculated steps. I think everything has been smooth so far. But then I'm ever prepared for challenges that will come up in the near future. Looking at the fact that I have a bit of experience from students leadership.
This is much commendable. He is saying he's much prepared for whatever will come in the near future. A leader without vision can't be a leader. I think that sounds right with me, and I would commend you on that. Now proceeding, I would like to ask this. He has stated clearly he has thrown his light on whatever he has to say. Let me proceed by asking you this. As a liaison, because the moment you become the president-elect, you become the mediator between your colleague students and the administrative body, I mean the staff. So let me ask, as a liaison, or let's say a president-elect, in a scenario where you want to fight for the interest of your people, I mean your colleague students, and that interest you are busily fighting for doesn't align with the interests or goals of administration, what would you do, or how would you go about that?
Okay, so then I believe as individuals, you all have different ideology, different perceptions, and then different values. And then it's expected as individuals working, you don't always expect to come to an agreement. Even if you come to an agreement, then that means that things are not being done effectively. So when that happens, I believe what you have to do is sit down as an administration and have a very deep conversation. Because if I believe this is right, I should be able to convince you as to why it is right. If you think this is wrong, you should be able to convince me as to why this is wrong. So if after a conversation or a communication and we all settle on one, then we proceed with that.
So you are trying to say at the end, communication or a consensus must be reached. I think I would say it is a form of emancipation that will lead to liberty. I do get that. Now, last but not the least, what do you think are the two most pressing challenges that students of the University of Ghana are currently facing? And if you're able to pinpoint them out, tell us how you are going to deal with them so that they will get their freedom.
Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity. I believe accommodation deficit has been a long-standing challenge. And then even in our vets, we stated the fact that there's SRC residential facility project. So if Larbi and I are voted into power, we'll do our utmost best to make sure the SRC hostel is completed. In that case, it would alleviate us the burden of accommodation deficits. Yeah.
So, in short, Mr. Gyampo is simply talking about the accommodation crisis on campus, and he has measures ahead to curb that. Is that right?
Rightly said.
Okay. Can you add one more?
Yes, for me, I believe it has to do with the cost of transportation and mobility. So the campus in which we find ourselves, okay, unfortunately, there's some sort of monopoly in the sense that it's either you're using the shuttle or the taxis. And since these two organizations know that if you don't board their cars, you're left with nothing other than to walk, they tend to charge exorbitant prices. So the solution that I'm going to provide is to partner with other external transport organizations. Speak of organizations like SHAGZI. I believe if such organizations come into a partnership with the SRC and then begin operating on campus, that monopoly will be broken, and as such, the taxi drivers as well as the shuttle operators would have no option other than to reduce their prices too.
That sounds right. Now, the last thing I would want to ask is, a master always have his entrepreneurs, or let's say people he groom, and a learner can always be perfect, but he cannot master or overcome his master. I don't know if you are getting that right. So in short, all I'm asking you to do for me is, you are aspiring to be in an office where currently someone is there. Before he came, maybe others came before him, and now he will leave for maybe you, should God permit, and should the student body approve or let's say vote you into power, you would be the next to take over. Now I'm asking that, how would you rate the current administration? Is it that you see some loopholes that you think it could be easily corrected and all that?
Well, I would say an 8/10 is not bad. Even in our vetting, I mean, we stated that. So I think we would want to commend the current administration for the good initiatives they put in place. As part of our policy statement, we stated that, I mean, there are a number of policies we would want to continue. The No Coffee initiative, Enidaso, and then SRC Weekend School. So I think it's a very commendable effort from our current UG SRC presidency administration.
That's a great one. Is there anything you would want to add?
Yeah, I think so too, because being an aspirant myself, I can appreciate how difficult it is to get things done as an SRC president. But in as much as this administration has not been able to fulfill all their policies, at least they've been able to do enough. And I really appreciate them for that. They've done a very good job. So I also agree with the 8/10.
Okay, so last of all, I would kindly inform or convince a University of Ghana student watching you at the moment that people, not just you, a lot have come out to seek their consent in giving the go ahead so that they get voted for. So what would you tell or say to anybody watching you now to get them convinced so that at the end or on the D-Day they go vote you to be the next UG SRC president?
Alright, so fellow Legonites, greetings to all of you. I'm in the person of Larbi Richmond, and I'm here with Gyampo Ebenezer Derrick, running for the high office of SRC President and Vice President respectively. We both are individuals who have track records of very good initiatives. Speak of the internship that I've been able to secure for students. Speak of the scholarship I've been able to secure for students. Speak of the financial assistance and financial aid that I've been able to give to students. Indeed, this should tell you that I have a track record of proving leadership. And if I'm given the mandate, I'll be able to do more. Right here with me is Gyampo, who is also very experienced when it comes to leadership. Speaking of, he serving as the G. Nelson Hall organizer and currently the G. Nelson Hall president. It tells you that an individual who has track records of good initiatives, coupling with someone who has track record of experienced leadership, is just the perfect pair and the perfect duo to get things done for you. So I urge all Legoners to rally behind Larbi Richmond. And this coming election, vote and vote right. Vote for Larbi Richmond, for we are the formidable pair and we have your interests at heart. Thank you very much. Ujamaa, let's get the job done.